Brazil, 1976. In a modest neighborhood in Rio de Janeiro, a child was born who would become known as the phenomenon. From the moment he could walk, there was a football at his feet. By age 7, he was out playing teenagers. By 13, professional scouts were watching. At 17, he made his professional debut, and within months, he was scoring goals that defied physics. At 19, Barcelona paid a world record fee, 47 goals in 49 games. The entire world watched in awe. At 20, he won the World Player of the Year award. Then, won it again, back to back, the youngest ever. The 1998 World Cup was approaching, and Brazil's golden boy, the fastest player on earth, was ready to conquer the world. June 1998, France, the World Cup. Brazil arrived as overwhelming favorites, and leading them was the 21-year-old phenomenon. Nike built an entire global campaign around him. The pressure was immense, but he handled it. He scored against Scotland, then Chile, then helped Brazil reach the final. July 12, 1998, Stade de France, Brazil versus France. 80,000 in the stadium, 1 billion watching worldwide. Everything was set up perfectly. This was his moment, his destiny. But at 3:30 p.m., 4.5 hours before kickoff, something went catastrophically wrong. In his hotel room, his body began convulsing. A seizure, violent, terrifying. For 90 seconds, his teammates watched helplessly. Medical protocol was clear. Anyone suffering a seizure cannot play for 48 hours. The World Cup final was in 4.5 hours. They rushed him to a hospital. Tests came back inconclusive. The decision should have been simple. He couldn't play. But this was the World Cup final. This was Brazil's best player. At 6:30 p.m., the coach made a decision that would haunt Brazilian football. He would play. The striker walked onto that pitch, pale, sick, barely present. The match began, and he was invisible. 11 touches in 90 minutes. France won 3-0. Brazil was humiliated. And the world didn't know about the seizure. FIFA kept it secret. So when the media began their brutal analysis, all they saw was Brazil's superstar disappearing when it mattered most. The criticism was immediate and savage. What happened? Did he choke? He's a fraud. Death threats, hate mail. Fans burned his jersey in the streets. He became the scapegoat for an entire nation's failure. He was 21 years old, and his world had collapsed. For months, he hid. The depression was crushing. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. His mother found him one evening, and what she saw terrified her. He was suicidal. She moved in, wouldn't let him be alone. Just one more day, she said, every night. Promise me, one more day. By October, 3 months after the final, he was still broken, still the national scapegoat. And then, 16 months later, his body decided to destroy him completely. November 21, 1999. A routine league match. The striker was running toward goal, no defenders near him, when suddenly, a pop. Everyone in the stadium heard it. He collapsed, screaming, complete rupture of the patella tendon, career ending, the doctors said. 4 hours of surgery. When he woke up, the surgeon delivered the news. 18 months of rehabilitation, and even then, less than 20% chance he'd ever play again. I recommend retirement, the surgeon said. Your knee is destroyed. He was 23 years old. His career was over.
He spent the next year in hell. Physical therapy every day, excruciating pain, learning to walk again. The progress was agonizingly slow, but he pushed. By September 2000, 14 months later, he was finally running again. The doctors were amazed. This is unprecedented, they said. He began training again. October 2000, his first day back in full training. He pushed too hard, and his knee exploded again. Same knee, same injury, same sickening pop. The second surgery was worse. The surgeon was blunt. I can't fix this. Your football career is finished. Accept it. But lying in that hospital bed, he made a decision that would defy medical science. He looked at the surgeon and said, I'm not done. I'm coming back. The surgeon shook his head. That's impossible. The striker smiled. Watch me. April 2002, 2.5 years after his first knee explosion, against all odds, he was back, playing professional football with knees held together by scar tissue and willpower. He'd lost 40% of his speed, but he was scoring goals. In May, Brazil announced their World Cup squad. His name was on the list. The media exploded. Are they insane? He's finished. But the coach believed. He deserves this chance. June 2002, the World Cup began. First match, Turkey. Brazil was losing with 20 minutes left. The striker came off the bench. 5 minutes later, he scored. The entire stadium stood and applauded. They knew what this meant. Next match, China. He scored again. Then Costa Rica, another goal. Round of 16, Belgium, 2 goals. Quarterfinal, England. He scored the winner. Semi-final, Turkey, another goal. 7 matches, 7 goals. He was the tournament's top scorer. But the real test was coming. June 30th, 2002, the World Cup final. Brazil versus Germany, Yokohama Stadium, 69,000 fans, 1 billion watching. 4 years after the nightmare, the teams walked out. The anthem played. This time, he wasn't sick. He was ready. Kickoff. The match was tense. First half ended 0-0. His knees were aching, but he pushed through. The second half began. Minute 67, a cross into the box. The goalkeeper spilled it. The ball fell to his feet. 2 yards out, empty net. Bang! Goal! Brazil 1-0. The stadium exploded. 4 years of pain released in one moment. Minute 79, another cross. He was there again. Same scenario. Bang! Goal! Brazil 2-0. He dropped to his knees, hands to his face. He couldn't believe it. 2 goals in the World Cup final. After the seizure, the depression, 2 knee explosions, doctors telling him to retire, he had done it. Full time, Brazil 2, Germany 0. World champions. 8 goals in the tournament. Golden Boot winner. Complete, total, absolute redemption. The media swarmed him. His first interview was barely coherent. 4 years ago, I was broken. Today, I'm champion. I don't understand it. 200 million Brazilians celebrated in the streets. In Rio, 2 million flooded Copacabana Beach. The entire nation was celebrating his redemption. Because 4 years earlier, they had destroyed him. And now they were witnessing his resurrection. The next day, 50,000 people waited at the airport to welcome him home. Days later, the president honored him personally. "You showed our nation what resilience means," the president said. A victory parade through Rio drew 3 million people.
The largest in Brazilian history. He'd gone from the most hated man in Brazil to the most beloved. He played a few more years, but his knees couldn't sustain it. By 2011, at 34, he retired. "My body has given everything it could," he said. His career was over, but his impact was just beginning. Athletes facing career-ending injuries looked to him for hope. People battling depression saw his journey and found strength. His comeback became a symbol taught in universities, cited in psychology courses, used in business schools as the ultimate case study in resilience. In 2014, during the World Cup in Brazil, 75,000 fans gave him a 3-minute standing ovation as he walked onto the Maracanã pitch, cane in hand. In 2016, a bronze statue was unveiled outside the stadium. The inscription read, "The Phenomenon, World Champion 2002, Symbol of Resilience, Never Gave Up." In 2018, he was inducted into the International Football Hall of Fame. In 2020, a major documentary premiered, telling his story to 50 million viewers worldwide. Today, in 2025, at age 48, he lives quietly. His knees are destroyed, but he has no regrets. He gives motivational speeches, telling audiences, "I failed. I was broken. Everyone said I was finished, but I refused to accept it. That's the secret. It's not about being the best. It's about refusing to quit when everything says you should." His legacy is secure. He inspired 100 million people to keep fighting because his story isn't about football. It's about the human spirit, about getting back up when the world says, "Stay down." The greatest comeback in sports history, from disaster to legend, from broken to champion. 4 years of hell made worthwhile, and a legacy that will inspire generations forever, because he proved something that resonates with everyone. No matter how broken you are, you can come back. Never give